I guess that's the top of my head, part 11, right? Okay, yeah, that's what I'm saying. All right, so, hi everybody, this is Angelo Quinones, and good morning, Kalimera in Greek. Buenas mañanas. Is it buenas mañanas with an S? Buenas mañanas, I think. Buenas mañana. I gotta check that out in Spanish though, and I'm Spanish. I forget my Spanish. I took Spanish lessons, and I'm Puerto Rican. In I think it was the 10th grade, right, with Mrs. Lyons. I can't forget that though, man. She was just like one of the sweetest teachers in the whole planet. I need a haircut. I need like an army haircut. Sorry about that. I don't know if you hear the triples though in the background. I don't know if this is recording, so I don't know if you hear that though. So I'm talking at the same time the triples are, because I have a notification, Star Trek notification app, and so it's doing the tribbles. The tribbles are just these nice little furry creatures, and then they're from another planet, and they come in like gray, yellow, orange, or whatever, brown, and then different colors. And so you touch them and they start cooing. It's just adorable creatures. They go. And there's some toys, Star Trek toys, that actually are furry, and inwardly they have it has a mechanism with a button, so when you touch it and you pet it, and it goes. Batteries are not included. So my wife is 6 months pregnant, so that's a nice thing. She's very uncomfortable these days, so pray for her. Very uncomfortable. It's very hard to sleep. This baby, like no other baby that she has had, she has carried, now 5. Okay, and so this is the toughest one yet. I mean, not even Mary was like that, or Godfrey, or whatever the case may be. This one is kicking. This one is doing a lot of, activity in the woman. It's very hard to sleep. So I don't know if it's going to be a big baby. It's a very active baby, very active baby. Anna wasn't so active. So this one is very active, and so I just need your prayers. I need you to pray for Riza. I need you to pray for me. Attitude-wise, she's okay nowadays. Because there could be a difficulty, during the 9 months, and so that's such as deal. Also, I want to tell you and warn you about the Church of Christ. Now, I'm not, dressed to give you a sermon now about the Iglesia de Cristo. Iglesia de Cristo in the Philippines, even in the United States or wherever they're located, is a bad church. Okay, there are bad churches out there. Okay, there are false Jesuses, there are false spirits, according to 2 Corinthians chapter 11. And not everybody who says to me, said Jesus, Lord, Lord, shall enter into the kingdom of heaven. Okay, just because you say Lord, Lord doesn't mean that it guarantees you entrance into the kingdom of God. You understand what I mean? Okay, so that's just it. You could say, Lord, Lord, I love you, and Lord, and sing to Him, and put little CDs in your car or your motorcycle, whatever the case may be. Doesn't mean a hill of beans to God. First of all, if you're not born again, if you don't have the nature of God. And these people make their churches, the Mormon Church, the Catholic Church, the Iglesia de Cristo, I already said the Mormon Church, but Jehovah's Witnesses, so-called, and all that stuff. And they don't love God at all. They don't love His Word. They don't love God. They don't believe in Jesus and the real Jesus. They have a man-made Jesus, and a man-made Jesus can't save you. He can't save me. It's only the Jesus of the Bible, the Jesus of the Scriptures, the Jesus according to the, the copies of the best manuscripts that we have. Okay, can save you. Even the late manuscripts that Jesus can save you. Okay, based on those manuscripts, the Byzantine text, the Vaticanus text. What am I talking about? Well, the Bible wasn't made in Tagalog and English and Japanese and Chinese and Spanish and French and Russia, and they have their issues right now. German, but the Bible came originally in Hebrew and in Greek, so it's based upon those things, those manuscripts, that we get our Bible. Okay, now a lot of people, they see the two natures of Christ, and they don't understand how can He be God and at the same time be man. Okay, so they wrestle with that. They can't deal with that. The natural man does not receive the things of the spirit, because they're foolishness to him. So Iglesia de Cristo, they don't believe in the Trinity. So get out if you're there. The Iglesia de Cristo don't believe that Jesus is God. Now Jesus is God and man, but they don't believe that he's God, because the Father is called God. Right? We don't take that away from him. We know that the Father is called God. We agree with you. But just because the Father is called God doesn't mean that Jesus is not. Right? And the verses of the Bible that indicate to us that he is called God. Titus chapter 2 verse 13. 2 Peter 1:1. 1 John chapter 5 verse 20. You understand what I'm saying? And the NIV Romans chapter 9 verse 5. Okay? Throw in there, Matthew chapter 1 verse 23, John chapter 1 verse 1, John chapter 20 verse 28. Okay, the God paid the church of God, which he paid for by his blood. I mean, verse 28 of chapter 20 of the Acts of the Apostles. You got Jesus being God and Jehovah all over the place. It doesn't take away the Father's deity, but I'm going to get into that. And so if you're in the Iglesia de Cristo, and people used to ask me, what about the Iglesia de Cristo? What about the Iglesia de Cristo or the Church of Christ? Now, unfortunately, they adopted our terms and names, meaning the terms that we use and the names that we use, okay? And then they call it the Church of Christ. It's not the Church of Christ. It's not the Church of Christ. The Church of Christ believes. The love believes all things. 1 Corinthians chapter 13. So you can't call yourself a church, the Church of Christ, and you deny the head of the church. This is ridiculous. But there's people who fall in for that. There's this guy that looks like O.J. Simpson a little bit. This demeanor, this brown character. And then he goes up there. He has like the demeanor of O.J. Simpson, so that throws people off. He's so nice. He has a little nice suit, nice tie, little carnation stuff. I could do that myself. I could buy a suit and have a nice tie, a nice shirt, and stuff like that. And I have a suit. Actually, the suit that I was married in was actually my main suit to go to work with, and stuff like that in the insurance company that I used to work in. And so, I have black pants, I have black shoes, and I need to buy black socks, though. Okay, I don't have those anymore. And I can say anything I want. I can say anything I want, I could speak for Roman Catholicism if I want to, and say Roman Catholicism is this, and this, and this, and it's not. I could get up and speak for the president of the Philippines, and I don't have nothing to do with him at all, right? I don't think you'll last that much in this country if you keep on doing that. They'll kick you out. Okay, you know what I'm saying? And with the God that we would kick people out of the churches of the real Christ, right? Because we're the church of Christ. You can call yourself the Church of Christ all you want to, or the Church of the Latter-day Saints, or Latter-day Saints, whatever the Mormon Church. I mean, you go look at that Mormon Church, Church of Christ. You see, the Catholic Church. You see, and these pseudo churches, these fake churches. So you can't, Jesus predicted that in Matthew chapter 13. If you don't know anything about Matthew chapter 13, you know nothing about the mystery of the kingdom of God. Nothing at all. If you don't know what Matthew chapter 13 says about the parables, the parables of the kingdom of God, the kingdom of heaven, you know nothing about Christianity, because these birds come into the tree, they lodge in the tree, and they insinuate themselves in the church. The tares in the midst of the wheat, the goats in the midst of the sheep, and people are duped by that. They're deceived. They don't know. First of all, they don't know the Bible. A lot of people are biblically illiterate. They like to watch TV more than the Word of God, and they don't know nothing about Christianity. So you get up. There was a study. It was just like this brown character. I forgot his name from a pseudo ministry, and he's standing up with a white background and stuff like that and letters. I could do that myself easily in Corel Video Studio, or I think it's called Video Studio nowadays, or Vegas Pro, whatever. I mean, anybody could do those things. Okay, I'm gonna be creating, making a room. And I'm going to have behind me manuscripts, pictures of manuscripts, copies of posters of manuscripts. I'm going to have a desk, and I have a chair, and I'm going to be dressed up. It doesn't mean nothing. Doesn't mean anything at all. So these people, dressed up in their these puny little men dressed up in their suits and ties and stuff, that don't mean nothing. That don't mean nothing. Mormons dress very nicely, but not everybody's a Mormon. Why? Well, you don't believe in the same things they do. So why would you believe something that Iglesia de Cristo member says if it's not even based on the Word of God? And it's not. They deny the Trinity. They deny the deity of Christ. There's nothing special about them at all. The people in the Iglesia de Cristo, only that they're made in the image of God. After that, they're nothing. Altogether most miserable. They have no hope. So, like this sponge, you just press it, and all that stuff, all that doctrine comes out of the sponge, because people have been soaking in these teachings for centuries now. That's what I'm saying. For years and years and years and thousands of years, people have been listening to the same, pig hogwash for like I said, running centuries now, So hundreds of decades. And it's just the same crime, spilled out by now Brown and by all these people, who they know they're nothing, so they want to make themselves a name in denying the truth. They would, they can't believe these things, so they say, well, before I die, I want to be popular, so let me become a heretic. At least I'll do something in my life. You know what I mean? I think that's what the attitude of most of these people are. They know that they're nothing. So they're going to die as nothing. So why not go out with a bang? Deny the deity of Christ, deny the Trinity. Maybe I can, they say, maybe I can debate the best Christian debaters and have myself up there on YouTube with the best of the best, and maybe James White or somebody like that. And, they know some of these people that people sort of, elevate their status if they debate them. So they just, it's just like this Muslim dude, he's debating somebody in Christianity, right? And so if somebody gives him a book, and in the debate, okay, you read the book, and it was such a prize to him. It's a Christian book, and this Muslim was going, yay, I got the book by this guy, so that's just the deal, So he's like, yay, I got this book from this guy. Oh, what a book! Oh man, it's like victory. Hi, my love. That's my wife, Reza, So, so all these, people from and my wife used to ask me about the Iglesia de Cristo. It's a bad church to go to. They don't believe in the Trinity. They don't believe in the deity of Christ, that Jesus is God. So I'm going to be making studies soon, refuting all those things. And hopefully I could challenge and go to some of these churches one day and challenge them and see if they want to have a public debate. Now, they're probably going to say no because they're scared. They don't want to debate people who know their stuff, who knows the original languages, who knows, the Bible. And they'll probably say, no, we don't debate. Why? If you have the truth, then debate the issues. Why are you going to deny a debate from a Christian, a true Christian, Iglesia de Cristo. So you got the Catholic Church, the Church of Christ, the Mormon Church. And just because you call yourself a church doesn't mean you're the church, like I said before. Doesn't mean you're the church. I can say, I'm Ronald McDonald. I'm the founder of McDonald's. But am I? What's the proof? Okay. So I can call myself the king, the founder of Burger King. I can say I'm the president of Jollibee. Right here. I'm the president of Jollibee. I made Jollibee. And my wife knows I didn't make Jollibee. She knows me. But I can say Jollibee restaurants are Angelo Quinones' restaurants. And they're mine. Well, I can say that, but it doesn't mean that they are. Okay, So people that say that Jesus is not God, and just because he's man, they don't understand that he's God and man. So they deny, that he's God because they don't understand these great things of God. They just don't understand, the Trinity and the deity of Christ. Well, anyway, this is just a regular video today, and I'm gonna be looking at these two individuals. I'm going to be naming them, just like the Apostle Paul named two heretics in the first book of Timothy, I believe, or the second book of Timothy, and either chapter 1 or chapter 2. So I'm going to get into the names. But Iglesia de Cristo, stay away from that church. And Jesus said, like I said before in Matthew chapter 13, that there are going to be fake churches out there. Jesus predicted that. He saw into the future, and he saw all of these pseudo or false churches that were going to pop up and believe what they want to believe. He already predicted that. He said, be careful. When people come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they're wolves, hungry wolves, be careful of them. Even the Apostle Paul predicted that in the Acts of the Apostles, chapter 20. Chapter 20, he said, "At my departure, people will be coming in, not sparing the flock. Watch," he said. So, all of these churches and cults and sects and everything like that, sections of religious groups that they call themselves a church. We can't stop themselves from calling themselves a church. Like, I could call myself anything I want. I could say I'm the president of the Philippines, but I'm the president of the Philippines? No. I'm gonna say I'm Joe Biden. I'm Joe Biden. I could say that, but am I Joe Biden? No. What's the proof? I don't even look like Joe Biden. I could see if I was his twin, that I could get away with it a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But so everybody can actually call themselves, the Church of Christ or the church this and church that, and use the word church and use the Bible, and they don't know how to study it, so they read it and, oh, well, Jesus was man, so that means he's not God. Well, what about the verses that say he was God? Like I said, Titus chapter 2 verse 13 calls him God and Savior. 2 Peter chapter 1 verse 1 calls Jesus God and Savior. What about that? What about when Thomas says, "My Lord and my God" to Jesus? Did Jesus say, no, don't call me Lord and God, I'm not your Lord and God? No. He didn't say that at all. So, we're all the verses in the Bible that Jesus is called God. John chapter 1 verse 1. John chapter 1 verse 18. All of these verses. 1 John chapter 5 verse 20. Where it calls Jesus the true God. So what about that? Oh no, but he's not God. But what about those verses? So I'm going to be getting into that in the future. I'm going to see the verses that they deal with, these two people in particular. And I'm going to bring them to you, these studies, this series, on the deity of Christ. With an open Bible that God has given us, it's absolutely amazing to me how people don't believe the Bible. We have no excuse. It's not like Jesus went back to heaven and he didn't send apostles, he didn't send prophets or anything like that. He sent us apostles and books that we can have so we can know the truth. The problem is that we don't study the Bible. We don't study the Bible. We don't give time to the Bible. And the Tribbles cool. And so that's just the thing. And so if we don't take time to study the Bible, when Iglesia de Cristo comes knocking on our door, we're going to believe everything they say. Because if people don't know the Bible, right? And people come to us talking about the Bible, we're going to believe them because we don't know the Bible. Oh, Jesus is not God. Oh, that's interesting. Wow, there's no Trinity. Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, Iglesia de Cristo, they got their suits, they got their ties, they got their, nice so-called churches and stuff like that. Oh, maybe they're saying the truth because, yeah, but how about the Muslims? They got their nice suits and things. Some of these people in the United States, they're very well dressed. The Mormon Church is a very well dressed group of people. You see the girls in dresses and the guys with suits, and they speak lies. So just because you're dressed nicely doesn't mean nothing. It's what you say that counts in Christianity. What you do that counts in Christianity, and what you don't do. And that's what you're going to be judged for, and that's what I'm going to be judged for at the eschaton, at the end of time. Well, it's another day, and I'm going to be studying those, and I'm going to be bringing those to you free of charge. And so I hope that everybody has a nice day. This is a beautiful day here in the Philippines, right, huh? And so that's just the deal. So just stay tuned for those messages. And it's going to be based on John chapter 1 verse 1. I already have a large series, a mega series on John 1:1. Hundreds of studies of John 1:1 according to the Hebrew, according to the Greek, proving that not only who we now know as God the Father is God, but also the Lord Jesus Christ is God too. Okay. Where's the baby? Baby over there? Okay, thanks, God.